Well, the former Prime Minister John Howard says the Labor Party's broken promise on super will be a major factor at the Aston by-election. He spoke exclusively to Sky News and, of course, he was the man who introduced the GST and says the Labor Party is confused on tax policy and described Jim Chalmers and Anthony Albanese as having a barney.
John Howard knows a thing or two about tax policy and believes Labor's superannuation changes will hurt its chances at the Aston by-election.
I think what the Labor Party has shown in the lead up to this Aston by-election is that it's quite confused about tax policy.
That confusion escalated when Jim Chalmers refused to rule out taxing the family home before he was overruled by the Prime Minister. Mr Howard says Mr Albanese's intervention was extraordinary.
They had a big barney yesterday, can only be called that, between the Prime Minister and the Treasurer.
The man who introduced the GST after 6 years earlier saying he wouldn't.
There's no way that GST will ever be part of our policy.
Argues the Labor Party's broken promise not to touch super this term will have an impact on the by-election.
They've demonstrated a breach of faith with the electorate on superannuation tax, and those sorts of things particularly bother people in Aston.
Arguing the voters in Aston are aspirational.
The average Australian, the average voter in Aston, does not appreciate being told that their hard-earned savings are somehow or other available for the government to interfere with.
Mr Howard spoke exclusively with Sky News about the Liberals' by-election win in 2001, seen as a turning point for the Howard government. This time around, the seat stands on a 2.8% margin, with the retiring Alan Tudge departing Parliament. With some doubt, Peter Dutton will be able to hang on to the seat.
We've got the work ahead of us, but the significant job we have at the moment is to hold the Aston by-election.
Simon Love, Sky News, Melbourne.
And you can see Simon's full interview with John Howard looking back at the 2001 Aston by-election on Sunday Agenda, and the full interview on Weekend Live, that's this Sunday on Sky News.